It's not about Joe Biden's age. It's about his mental fitness. For example, on June 30th, Thomas Sowell, the great Thomas Sowell, celebrated his 94th birthday.
What are the Beltway politicians buying with all the...
This is 3 months after Thomas Sowell celebrated his 81st birthday, the same age that Biden is right now. This is Thomas Sowell 3 months after his 81st birthday.
What are the Beltway politicians buying with all the hundreds of billions of dollars they are spending? They are buying what politicians are most interested in, power. Explain that notion.
There are things that the government is authorized to do under the Constitution and other things that they're not authorized to do. But by simply spending a vast amount of money, you acquire the right to do them. For example, you can fire the head of General Motors simply because you spent all that money buying, rescuing General Motors. There are all kinds of programs that the federal government imposes on the states, which they have no authority to do, but they impose them because they make the receipt of federal money contingent on doing what they tell you in Washington. And so the powers that were set out in the Constitution and limited become expanded by this process.
Now, I mentioned that we've had some questions for you submitted from people who follow the show on Twitter and Facebook. Here's one from a fellow called Albert Fuchs on Facebook. And he points, I'll paraphrase because it's a little bit long here. Milton Friedman said a major reason for the growth of government is that special interests are concentrated, but the general interest is diffuse. And Tocqueville warned that American democracy would be in danger when the public learned it could use the ballot box to vote itself money.
Yes.
Now, both of these get at what you were talking about just a moment ago. But both of these are structural points. It has been the case since the Constitution was enacted.
Okay, that's enough. The point is, sharp as a tack, 81 years old, talking about lofty ideas about the limitations of the federal government's power. 81 years old. Same age as is the man who said, we beat Medicare. It's not his age. It's his mental capacity. Now, the tactic, as you know, has now suddenly switched 24, 48 hours from, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, to whatever Biden is, he ain't going anywhere. And if he were, we cannot get rid of Kamala Harris, who's less popular, so might as well stick behind Joe Biden and attack Donald Trump for being a Nazi and being a fascist and being a racist and being an election denier, even though Biden preemptively denied the results of the midterms of 2022 until they won them or did better than they thought they were going to do. Then all of a sudden what he said was out the window. Let's focus on the lies of Donald Trump. Let's ignore the lies of Joe Biden, which include, but are not limited to. Biden once, or a couple of times, said his son Beau died in Iraq. No, he didn't. Then Biden suggested that his son contracted brain cancer in Iraq because he was near a burn pit. But studies show that the percentage of soldiers serving in Iraq who contracted cancer is no higher than those who served in other wars. No evidence whatsoever there's a direct link between Beau's brain cancer and the fact that he served in Iraq and lived near a burn pit. Yet Biden has said it over and over and over again. Biden said he desegregated movie theaters and restaurants in Wilmington. New York Times studied it, investigated it, and said there's no evidence whatsoever that he did it, and that his aides, quote, gently reminded him, close quote, not to say it again. And he kept saying it again, said the New York Times. Not me, New York Times. He said he participated in civil rights sit-ins. No evidence at all that he ever did it. Said it over and over and over again. Lied about his class standing, both in law school and in college. Said he finished in the top half of his class. He finished in the bottom. Said he received 3 scholarships. He received none. Said he got arrested trying to visit Nelson Mandela during apartheid. No evidence of it at all. And that when he was vice president, Mandela came to him, either vice president or Senate, and came to him and said, "Thank you so much for trying to visit me when I was in jail." No evidence Mandela ever did that. Biden, of course, said he was raised in the black church. He falsely claimed the driver who struck and sadly killed his first wife and daughter was drunk when it happened. When the investigator who investigated, who's now a judge, by the way, said alcohol was not involved, and if anything, it was Biden's first wife who was at fault. I think I told you the daughter of the man who struck and killed his first wife was depressed around Christmas time every year when the accident happened. And she went to Biden and said, "Please don't say my dad was drunk when he wasn't." She's already depressed. Biden apologized, said he wouldn't say it again, and said it again. Did you know Biden played football for the University of Delaware, except there's no evidence that he did? He lies about what Trump said about Charlottesville. Lied about what Trump said about bleach. Lied and claimed he didn't pressure the Ukraine to fire the prosecutor investigating Burisma and his son.
For the full episode of The Dennis Prager Show, go to pragertopia.com, sign up, and become a full member.